Hello everyone, welcome to Endure the King, Part 1. Let's get started, but before we get started, I want to show you a friend of mine that I'm going to be, that's going to be enduring the king with us. This beer is called Dora Dam or Dora Dam. I saw this at the shop, at the store, and I was like, you know what, I should try this, why not? It's called the International Award-winning beer. It's an international award-winning beer. So I decided to buy this and let's try it. So I'm gonna try it. I'll let you guys know if this is a good beer or not. It's gluten-free, so you know it's good. So let's see how it is. Did I waste my money? Who knows? It's pretty good. I like it. I like this beer. It's actually really, uh, it's kind of bitter, but it's not too bitter. It's kind of, it's good for what it is. I like this beer, right now, actually, so. It's good. It was in Barcelona. It's a Barcelona beer, so you know it's good. So there we have it. We got a good beer to start off this Ask the King. Let's get started. And as you can see, I brought back the arts. We're doing art stuff. I know artsy stuff. So here we go. He streamed this, and I don't know if this includes the little banter he had, but let's get right into it with the. Cheers. Let's see what happens with that. Take a sip. Oh, I should take a sip too.
Sixth Moral wants to know if I have any plans for 4th of July. Yeah, it's called work. For me, it's work.
My plans for 4th of July is to kind of play video games, hang out. I might stream or not. I don't know. I might have to. I might do something that day. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see what happens.
I'll be working on the 4th of July like every day. I'll be playing games here with you guys. What? Now that is a really weird question. Nomos18 did a 100-bit cheer and says, would you rather only eat lasagna for the rest of your life or take care of a frog for the rest of your life? What? I don't even understand what that means.
It means you're either gonna have to pick to eat lasagna for the rest of your life or take care of a frog. That's what it means. I don't know if it's a reference. Who knows? If I had to pick between eating lasagna for the rest of my life or take care of a frog, I'd take care of a frog. I hate lasagna. After a particular event, I got a lot of lasagna. Everyone kept sending us lasagna. After that, I fucking hate lasagna. I ate so much of it. It's terrible. Now it's a terrible thing. So
I don't want to eat lasagna for the rest of my life because I become insanely overweight and die, and I also don't want to take care of a frog. So the answer is neither. They both suck.
Why does taking care of a frog suck, DSP? Man. Oh my god.
All right. So, already, if you're not aware, if you didn't get your questions in for this episode of Ask the King, there are already a forum thread. There's already a forum thread for next episode, which is going to take place the end of August. It's going to be August 24th, 2017. So you can already post up your questions on the kingofhate.com forums if you like. Now, if you want a guarantee, a 100% guarantee that your question will be answered, if you pledge to my Patreon, which you can find down below, all right, there's a tier level where when you pledge, you'll get your questions answered for sure. And our first whole segment here is going to be me answering patron questions, and there's a significant amount of them this time. So it definitely behooves you to be one of my patrons if you want to get your questions.
Okay, no, we're not going to sit through this. This is just fucking Patreon stuff. So fuck that.
Let's get to the question. So
fuck that. Let's get to the questions. Has KO Gaming been worth it? What is the future of the channel? Honestly, the first half is kind of a DSP, like during DSP, like it's been worth it for him to make it. But on my end, let's say as a viewer, is it worth checking out KO Gaming? No, I would have said that probably the first half of last year when he launched it. I probably would have said that, but he fucked that channel over, and I've discussed why he fucked that channel. So. What's the future of that channel? It's gonna be basically a dead channel, and also I said this on Twitter. I predict that that channel is going to be reserved for the hardcore gaming season. It's going to be a channel that's only going to focus on games that come out in the fall, like Wolfenstein 2, you know, that general area. And, excuse me, and a little bit of next year. So like we'll go in a little bit in spring, but around the time when it becomes summer, that channel will die. That channel, he will not give a fuck about it. And this is the issue with that. Doing it that way, the way that I'm expecting to do it, is gonna slowly kill the channel. Like, it's not gonna kill the channel right out. It's not like he's gonna get, like, you know, it's gonna stop growing, but it's just gonna die. It's gonna slowly die. It's like if, you know, you have a very big, deep cut on your arm, let's say, and it's not scabbing, it's not, you know, and the bleeding is not gonna be controlled. And you go out and, you know, you're not going to die quickly, but you're going to die eventually. That's what's going on. Like, KO Gaming will die eventually. Like, I don't know how he fucked that channel up this bad. I really don't. It blows my mind how that channel had such a big potential, and then he just kind of killed it in like, a year. A year. That poor channel.
So first off, patron questions. So the first one is from Vera. And Vera, I believe, had maybe 2 questions. Let's see. So first of all, Vera's first question. Do you think that KO Gaming has been worth it so far? I understand the videos tend to bring in some more views than maybe a standard playthrough video, but do you think it's been more profitable than just streaming during the time you would be editing? Sorry, but that's too personal. I'm just interested in the background stuff that goes into the job. Interesting question, because Vera actually asked this question a couple months ago, like right after the last Ask the King had happened, and now things are a little different.
Wow, this guy. Okay, so let me get this straight. This person, he gave Phil money on Patreon to ask a question on Ask the King, to be assured a question. He could have asked him anything. He chose to ask him a question he already answered months ago. I mean, I guess it's an update question, or maybe he asked that question before and then he had, I don't know. That's just weird.
KO Gaming. This was a channel I set up in early 2016 because I wanted to diversify myself. I wanted to still do gameplay and live streaming, but I still wanted to do vlogging, but I also wanted to break out and do more edited style videos. And for the most part, I would say in 2016, KO Gaming worked, but didn't work the way that I really wanted it to or expected, alright? So allow me to explain. What I was hoping was that if I did constant edited style reviews that put a lot more effort into them than my old reviews where I would just talk to a camera like this, editing gameplay and stuff like that, that people would appreciate it, and maybe it would get more views, get more attention on YouTube because it's more in line with what people expect for a video review on YouTube. But I also wanted to branch out and do things like countdowns and montages and special events and all kinds of stuff over on KO Gaming. It's not even in line with
what reviews are on YouTube anymore. It's not even close. Reviews have gotten really thoughtful and you know, a lot of like of effort is being put in, way more than what Phil is putting into KO Gaming. So there you go.
Well, here's what happened. KO Gaming took off virally, meaning there were a few videos on there that got hundreds of thousands. One video got 1 million views. It was only when I did a negative review. In fact, I hate to say it, but it seems to me that YouTube in general has become a website that's for negativity and drama. And I hate to say that because I've been on YouTube for some,
negativity and drama.
10 years. Okay. Things sucked. It would get tons of views.
Okay, I don't know what.
Negativity and drama. So.
Okay. Negativity and drama? Okay. Sorry, I'm just gonna open this up. Negativity and drama. Okay. Okay. Negativity and drama. Let's go to Mega 64. I know you guys are already ready to roast me on this one, but I want to show you what negativity looks like. I want to show you look at these views, 18,000, and these people are just talking, not a lot of editing. It's a podcast. This skit got 67,000 views. Negative and drama, right, guys? This is a negative and drama video, apparently. These thumbnails. New Unreal Engine. Oh, 11,000. Not 11,000. 111,000. Wow, look at this negativity, dude. A lot of negativity amongst this, right? Let's go to my. Fuck it. I proved my point. I don't know why I wanted to do a field trip already on that. That was I wasted your time, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
If I do a review that says, "Oh, this game sucked," it would get tons of views. But if it was a great game and I reviewed it, it would barely get any.
Maybe it's because like, yeah, the negative reviews he made gets more views because. Look at negatives. This is kind of funny, and drama and negativity is easy. It's like an easy video to make. When you're talking about a great video, you have to put a lot of effort. You have to put it on in a lot of like, a lot of attention put into it. Like if I do a review, I do kind of want to do a review of Little Witch Academia. I love that. That's a great show. I'm not gonna just say Little Witch Academia is a really good anime. It has really good story, animation, characters. You're not gonna be that interested. I mean, that's kind of a conversation thing. That's like, you know, if you come over and I'm like, oh yeah, man, did you hear about this show? That's kind of what DSP KU Gaming's reviews are just him saying it. You know, it just is a really good fighting game. The fighting game is really good. The controls are really good. And NetherRealm always puts in a lot of effort. Like it's just there's nothing like there. If he goes and saying like, well, Injustice 2 puts a lot of effort in where Injustice 1 did not. You know, it's a great move forward into other games as like no, this and that. Like he could have also had this opportunity to kind of be showing the negatives harshly on other fighting games in comparison with Injustice 2 within that review. But again, you need to put out a lot of time and effort to put in what is relevant to the review and what isn't. If he starts throws in a rant on Street Fighter V in the review of Injustice 2, that's not gonna work. Because then it just becomes a Street Fighter V rant. But if he says like, well, unlike Street Fighter V, that lacks a lot of the basic stuff that you would expect in a fighting game. It doesn't have an arcade mode and all this stuff. It just comes with that in spades. It comes with an arcade tower, a multiverse tower that just has a lot of stuff that you can do randomly and a lot of healthy, you know, a good character roster, whatever. He could have done so many other things, but he's not creative. That's the bottom line. He is not a creative person. He cannot think of anything new. None of his ideas is unique or fresh or new. These are the same ideas that you already seen before. That's why KU Gaming died. It died. There was nothing new. You can go to any other channel and you'll get the same stuff that is in KU Gaming, but probably done better.
Attention. Because people don't want to hear the good stuff, they just want to hear the negative, because the common viewer on YouTube has become this, like, immature person who just wants negativity, and I'm not all about that. When I'm going to review a game, I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to be positive if it's a good game.
Or maybe your personality attracts these negative people, maybe. Because that's the other thing. A lot of people that say, oh, I love watching Phil, they love watching for the salt, the rage. So, do you think that these people who kind of became a fan of him because they love seeing him rage and shit are gonna stick around to watching a video where he isn't angry? I mean, look at the drama videos he uploads. Let's take a relevant field trip. A field trip that's relevant, guys. I know, crazy, right? We're gonna go to his channel. Let's take a look at the only the only rant negative video he has done in months. The Emergency Atlas strikes DSP Gaming, all this. 10,360 views. His home walkthrough, 6,494. Look at this. That is the only video that has the most views next to his other, like, begging videos. Like, these are kind of trailing behind it, but those are older videos in comparison. Alert, 17,000. Excuse me. Like, even this didn't get a lot of views. Like, look at this. Like, these videos don't get a lot of views. Like, special announcement Teespring here, but if this said, alert! Teespring! That would get, like, 10,000 views. Easy. Let's see. Ivan laid off 26,000. 10,000 for, YouTube ad fiasco. Update, DSP transitioning gets 12,000. Where's the Machinima vlog? He did the Machinima vlog somewhere. Where is it? There it is, 6 years, 15,000, which is surprising. I would have expected that to have as much as the laid off video, but again, laid off is very attractive in terms of like, oh my god, look. But remember, so obviously it cannot be these kind of videos that have negative connotations to them be the reason why his audience is mostly negative. Obviously. I mean, you're just dumb if you think like that. Come on, man.
And really, that's what happened last year with KO Gaming, is I had a short span there between May to June to July where I was playing some really bad games and I reviewed them and they got giant attention because of that.
And then he had to go, then he went on vacation. That was a good idea.
But then when I started reviewing games that weren't so bad, once the hardcore gaming season of the fall hit, no one wanted to hear that, and people just basically stopped watching the videos.
Yeah, that's why.
And it was ridiculous because I was still putting in the same amount of time and effort, but just because the games are good, now people don't want to watch. It doesn't make any sense.
Guys, my videos on Theo Does Videos doesn't make a lot of views. It's obviously not me. That's the problem. It's not that maybe my videos are boring or not something that people are interested in. No, it can't be that. Can't be. It has to be the fucking YouTubers. You guys. You, the viewers. You guys want the negativity. You want it so bad. That's why. I mean, like, obviously because YouTube is a negative place. It's not because, you know, I'm making an easy video that's going to be, like, obviously, this video, in comparison to my other videos that I work on, that this will get a lot more views because it's me enduring this fuckface. You know, obviously this will get a lot of views because, you know, it's, oh, I'm basically roasting Phil, this and that. Obviously, that's why this gets a lot of views. I'm not saying it's like, oh, it's because the YouTube viewers are negative dicks, they like the negativity, they like the drama. No, they just, I mean, yeah, people like the negativity, they like drama, but that's not the only people that are on YouTube. It's just, he only sees it as negative because that's the only thing that he's around because he's such a toxic person. And, you know, I got a comment on an old video, or whatever, saying that, you know, oh, you detractors are ruining Phil's life by making these videos because that's why he can't get a job, because of this and that. Yeah, you know, it's obviously it's our fault that he can't get a job. It's not like that, it's not that we are just reacting to the things he said and just recording our opinions on that. It's not, yeah, because obviously we went to his house one day or we hacked his brain and made him jerk off on stream. Obviously that was us, right? Like, you know, it's just kind of like he's so much around negativity because he's such a negative person. He's a negative person. Negativity begets negativity. Like, you know, if I made videos constantly that were like upbeat, you know, whatever, mind my own business, no one probably would care. I mean, if the videos were good, people would care. People would like those videos. But if these videos were like lukewarm and this and that, no one would give a fuck. It's just whatever. It's just that he is surrounded by negativity, so of course that's his opinion of YouTube, because he's around it. He's around it more. And he wouldn't be around negativity if he didn't talk about it. And he still talks about it. He has always said, I'm gonna move forward positively. Tell me when he moved on positively from something. He has never once moved on positivity. Oh my god. He never moves forward positively and never addresses the negativity ever again. He always addresses the negativity. Always. Even when he says he isn't, he is.
But again, logic doesn't really define what people watch on YouTube. They watch negative, stupid, drama-filled shit because that's what's popular.
And as I said before in my last video, I think I said this in the last video, this mentality towards YouTubers, towards viewers and all this, do you think this is going to retain an average viewer? No. Because they're going to watch this, and they're going to see this guy saying, well, the viewers, they're not logical. They're not using their brains. Here, in this case, he did say that in another video, but in this particular video, he says that they're not, logic does not dictate them. They like seeing the negativity and this and that. So, imagine being an average viewer listening to that. Are you going to stick around to this YouTuber? No. Because first off, he already begs every day. He begs for money every day. I mean, that's already going to turn people off. Um, he's saying this. I mean, it's just he's a negative person. That whole bit is him. It was focused on negativity.
On YouTube because it's an immature viewing audience.
Immature. Oh, I'm an average viewer. I'm watching this guy. Oh, the average viewer is immature. Wow, this guy called me immature. Fuck this guy. And then he leaves. And you can say, well, that's an immature way to say it because he could, if he spent some time to think about it, he would know that he's not talking about him. He's talking about the other people. That's still fucking shit because even with that, that's still shitty because then that's implying that, oh, well, he thinks of other people as negative assholes, but that might not be me. That might not be okay with me. I don't know. It's kind of it's just I don't know. I don't know how to say it. It's kind of fucking shitty to have that mentality towards viewers, in my opinion. It's just you don't do that.
So, after a year of doing KO gaming in that method, I said, you know, it kind of sucks because I had that popularity, but because I'm not that negative style of person, I couldn't maintain that level of popularity. But it's okay, I'll just keep going. And then what happened? Well, YouTube ad revenue...
Yeah, that's what happened.
...plummeted because YouTube fucked up and... had a completely automated system for their advertisements. Advertisers didn't like that their advertisements were going on videos that weren't pertinent to the customer base they wanted to advertise to. They were
It wasn't pertinent to the viewer. Okay, I've said this before, but I've never heard these advertisers say that. They've only been, as far as we know, is that they pulled out because their ads were going on videos that they don't want their products associated with. It has nothing to do with like, oh, a kid watching PewDiePie and then them seeing a ad for car insurance. You know, like when I was a kid, I know it's that talk. You know, I'm talking about when I was a child watching Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network when I was a kid, and you know what ads I saw besides the occasional toy ads? Fucking car ads. Oh, buy this new Volvo, and I was like a fucking little kid thinking like, oh wow, car, woo. And then you know they had mattress commercials, all this stuff. Why didn't they pull out of TV then with this logic? I mean, it's fucking dumb. Like, advertisers don't care where the ads are showing as long as it's not a video that is offensive and can make them look bad. Like, if their ad showed on a video that was like a KKK video or a terrorist video, whatever, obviously they're not going to want their brand associated with that. Simple as that.
Advertising on racist videos, terrorism videos, and they were like, fuck this, and they cut the cord, and they all left. So, in the month of February, YouTube ad revenue declined by around 50 to 60% for everyone on YouTube. So, everyone took a 50 to 60% pay cut. And the bottom line is, right now, I'm in a situation where I have to do what works in order to keep being able to live stream and put out videos for you on a daily basis and do this for a living. What works right now for me is balancing live streaming, like I'm doing right now, with videos on YouTube that are more gameplay related. Because the gameplay throughs, the live streams of gameplay, those are my lifeblood right now. DSP gaming is what's making me money on YouTube. Right now, the King of Hate vlogs and KO gaming make me nothing. Like, maybe...
Yeah, I mean, you can't just, you know, take the ad from KO gaming and the King of Hate vlogs and throwing it in with DSP gaming. I mean, again, it's not like he does a lot of work for DSP gaming anyway. He streams for like 3 to 4 hours, and then he just uploads the parts. He could work on a video while doing that. I have done that.
A couple $100s a month tops, which is not enough to keep, you know, the bills, the electricity on, and the internet paid for, and the bills going.
But that plus what you make on DSP gaming, you know, if you want, you know, you can just give me KO Gaming, give me the King of Hate vlogs, and I'll utilize those channels. I mean, I love those channels. I would love to get that much money. Just saying.
It's just not. So I have to go towards what works, and what works right now is more gameplay streams, and keeping the streams more interactive with you, so that I can get things like tips and cheers and all of that. And that's the bottom line.
But you don't work that hard for the tips. You get them anyway. You get them while you're fucking streaming. What? I gotta hear that again.
That's what's going on with you, so that I can play more gameplay streams and keeping the streams more interactive with you, so that I can get things like tips and cheers and all of that.
But that... Oh my god, that is the dumbest fucking reason. He said. That was the dumbest thing he put together. That's a fucking excuse, because there's no way that a guy can say that and not realize how dumb that sounds. So he streams for 3 to 4 hours, every day, that, as you said, and he's like, oh, well, I gotta keep these streams more interactive. He doesn't change the fucking stream format every day. Like whatever, what does keeping the stream interactive have to do with work outside of Twitch? How do those two things correlate? People tip him and cheer for him during gameplay streams. When he streams, right? This fucking guy is just, this is why he doesn't like doing KO gaming videos. He's not creative or inventive enough to come up with video ideas when there's no new games. Where there's not a big AAA release that he can do a video on, that he can make money on. Like, I mean, he won't do ARMS because that's Nintendo. But if it's not something that he can get easy views on, he'll just say, fuck it, can't do it. He can't think of a countdown series, which countdowns are fucking easy to make. I could do a fucking countdown if I did. I technically did one before, and that was a lot of fun, actually. He could do a countdown. So countdowns are easy. He could have just done a countdown easily. He even talked about doing a countdown for E3. Now that idea is shot for some reason. He could do a video about Crash Bandicoot 3 being on the remake, talking about like how the difference that he's noticed with the games he played compared to this. He could do a video on he could have done a video on the Redemption one, which he didn't. He had a fan do it, I think. Well, basically, he could have done a video on, there was one, Red Dead Redemption. He could have done a video on that. There's a lot he could have done. But he didn't. He didn't do it.
And that's the bottom line. That's what's going on right now.
That's the bottom line.
Now, some people, sadly, don't understand that. And they think that the world is black and white, and they think that things never change. And they're like, Phil, you promised us KO Gaming, and you gave up on KO Gaming.
You did give up on it.
Like, last year, that was my focus because things were different. YouTube ad revenue was good. YouTube ad revenue is now terrible. And I have to do what it takes to stay afloat. So, for example, if I was doing like I did last year, one gameplay stream a day, and then every night taking 2 to 3 hours a night to edit a video, I probably wouldn't be paying my bills right now. I'm being real with you.
Fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit. I don't fucking believe that for a fucking second. No. He makes enough to pay his bills, regardless. Unless his bills are fucking in the thousands. No, he gets money on Patreon, which is more than enough to pay his bills from that. He says, from Phil's mouth himself, that Patreon pays the bills. Now, see, this is the thing that people talk about. This is what people talk about. Oh, why they say that he's a con artist and taking money. He only focuses on, oh, God, pay the bills, when there's a depending on what financial income that comes in. So if, let's say, Patreon goes down. Guys, Patreon is down. I won't be able to pay my bills if the Patreon stays down. We need Patreon to go up so I can pay the fucking bills. Okay, so then it's like, see, it's not about YouTube anymore. YouTube views I'm not making a lot of money on. It's not the Twitch bits. It's not Twitch. It's Patreon. Okay, fine. They all go to Patreon. Guys, where are the bits? Where are the fucking bits? I can't pay my bills without the bits, dude. Where are my bits and my tips? Oh my god, Where is it? Oh my god, I need to pay the bills. All right, let's do that. YouTube views. I need DSP Gaming to take off, and I need that to pay the bills. I need that to pay the bills. So which source of income pays the bills? Patreon, Twitch bits, Twitch tips, or YouTube? Doesn't YouTube, and also, according to him, YouTube, it takes him like 2 months to get the paycheck. So, you see the issue here? See, there's a little bump in the road right there. There's a little confusion about that. So, you know, I don't know, but apparently he needs your money. Give him your fucking money on all 5 sources. Teespring you don't have to do. I mean, Teespring is if you really want a shitty t-shirt.
Doing edited style videos on YouTube right now doesn't pay off.
Fucking liar.
The reason why DSP Gaming is still doing okay is because I have over 40,000 gameplay videos on that channel already. And because I continuously play games on that channel and put out new content for you.
So maybe you should take the time to make videos for KO Gaming so that can also build a bigger roster of videos. My 2 channels, this channel and Theo Does Videos, have more videos than that channel. That's kind of sad.
That channel is so unique in the way it is compared to other gameplay channels, and that's the truth too. If DSP Gaming weren't unique and different from everyone else channels, and that's that channel is so unique in the way it play games on that channel and put out new content for you. That channel is so unique in the way it is compared to
That's unique. When did we lower the bar for unique content so low? When did that happen? Okay, since he's saying that's unique, this video is very unique. This is a very unique video. You know, I have DSP's video, like you know, here I have me, you know, on the bottom. I have my art thing there. It's very unique. This is a very unique video with not a lot of editing, barely any editing, and I just hit upload. Very unique, never been done before, never been done. Are you fucking for real? My rabbit is more unique than you, dummy.
To other gameplay channels, and that's the truth too. If DSP Gaming weren't unique and different from everyone else, right now it would be failing, like most other YouTubers who are complaining that they can't pay their bills because of what's going on. Luckily, I'm not.
The only YouTubers that are complaining are people who kind of focus on one thing, which ironically focus on one thing now, but you know, like Mega64, they've not been complaining about paying their bills. Game Grumps does not complain about paying their bills. H3 was at one point, but now they're not because, you know, they adapted. So there's that. Red Letter Media is not complaining about paying their bills. Angry Video Game Nerd is not. James Rolfe is not complaining about not paying his bills. I could probably go on. It's just, you know. This video's gonna be
in that position. I'm in a position here where because DSP Gaming is just raw gameplay, and the sheer amount of videos that are on there, and the sheer amount of playthroughs that I've done, and I didn't focus on just editing the best of moments and the shit like that. Because I did it differently, I'm succeeding. Like, I'm still able to do this for a job. If my DSP Gaming channel were like everyone else on YouTube, and it was edited gameplay, that I only uploaded 1 to 2 videos a day, I probably would be out of business right now. So, who could have predicted that me doing it the way that I did it actually...
Oh my god. Edited videos would cause me to lose the house. Oh yeah, if I just did edited videos, I would have lost the house like everyone else. No, you dummy. If you made edited videos that were good, like a lot of people on YouTube, that are not complaining about paying their bills, then it's not the fucking process that's causing you to lose money, it's you. And as people said multiple times, you should never do YouTube as a job. You should do it as a hobby. the only time that YouTube should ever become a job is once you find a stable, secure source of income. Like, if you have a good merch store. A lot of artists that I've seen have merch stores. The artist from Skullgirls, Kanuko, I think is her name. Well, her Twitter name. She sells merch as well. She sells sketchbooks. She has 2 sketchbooks on a store right now. I think she might upload the 3rd one eventually someday when she's probably done with Indivisible. But she has merch. She has a merch store. Nico 808, which is another niche Tumblr artist, has a store. That person, the only thing I've heard her kind of complain about is that her laptop died, so she's kind of stuck in a hard place right now with that because she hasn't paid the rent and she has to also pay for a new laptop, etc., etc. But that's, it is what it is. But she has a dedicated source of patrons that actually like her artwork and probably would want to support her. Phil doesn't fucking have that.
He worked properly, right? I'm just saying it worked out because of my unique style, okay?
Yeah, unique style.
But unique. That being said, now I have to stick to what works. So what that means is, am I completely abolishing doing reviews? Absolutely not. Am I completely throwing away the idea that I would do a reactions video or a first impressions video on a hot new release? Absolutely not. But KO Gaming is going to be a channel that when the opportunity arises, when I can do something pertinent and I know I can fit it into a schedule and it won't negatively affect me, then I'll do it. Wow. So I'll give you a perfect example here.
So basically, KO Gaming's on...
Come the fall, when all the new releases are coming out, and I'm playing them and people want to know, gee, is that new release a good one? If I can put a review out within a week of the release of a game, I'll do it, and I'll spend the time to make that edited video and release it on KO Gaming. But right now, during the summer, there's no new releases. The games that I'm playing are downtime games. No, I'm not going to drop doing gameplay streams and stuff that are bringing in the money to pay my bills to do an edited video on KO Gaming. It would make 0 sense. And I would be shooting myself in the foot doing that because I know even if I had a video right now, again, on KO Gaming that went viral, it wouldn't even make a lot of money. That's just how it is. Individual videos really aren't doing a lot. It's more about...
Curse partnered both KO Gaming and DSP Gaming, but again, he can't just take both money. Like,
having this big giant library of videos that people are constantly viewing, which is what I have on KO Gaming, what I have on DSP Gaming, and why DSP Gaming is able to succeed the way that it's doing. Okay.
Yeah, KO Gaming will never have that opportunity because he won't add videos to it.
Okay.
You can't have a library out the...
So there's the answer in regards to KO Gaming. Now there's a second question from Vera. Is there a setting in games that you feel is unexplored? If so, what do you think and why?
Okay, let's see what the question is. Is there a setting in games that's unexplored and why? That's a good question. Actually, that's a good question. I would probably say... I don't know, I feel that video games almost went everywhere. Like, we went to space. We went to Africa with Resident Evil 5. We went to South America in MGS4. I mean, I guess we could have more games in South America. The Arctics. I think we should get more games set in, like, colder environments. I mean, Lost Planet was that, I guess. Yeah, Lost Planet was basically that. But, I mean, that game kind of fucking died. Though Lost Planet 1 was the only good one. 2 was alright, 3 sucked. At least I didn't hear you good things about 3. I mean, they kind of went everywhere. I mean, there's really... I don't know if there's any unexplored settings. I mean, hey, chat, if you have a fucking idea, feel free to let me know in the comments below.
Well, let's see. Obviously, urban life has definitely been explored. Like being in a city. Plenty of games that take place in big cities, right? When you think of different climates, jungle's been overdone, desert has been overdone. Like Frozen tundra area, maybe that hasn't been done as much. Maybe a survival game that's like set in the Antarctic or something like that could be interesting. There certainly hasn't been a lot of games about suburban life, right? Like you might say, oh, The Sims or whatever. But I'm talking about a game that has a setting like in suburbia. Most games end up being taking place in giant, like, populated places or something like that. Usually for plot reasons, you know what I mean? Like, they figure, oh, if we're in a big city, there's more around, more to do. When you look at stuff like that, that's kind of the case. So that being said, definitely I would say maybe suburbia, a game set in suburbia, something like that could be something interesting. I would like to see more games set in a more international climate, because typically when you have a game, it's either like in America or the USA or in Europe. When's the last time you had a game that took place in Canada? When's the last time you had a game that took place in Mexico or South America? You know what I mean? Like, most games take place in these very common areas. Why can't we have a game?
Yeah, what about Greece? Why can't we go to Greece? I want to see a game that's in Greece. I get to go to the fucking Acropolis, and I get to, you know, fuck shit up. I can do stuff in the Acropolis. I want to do that. I want to do that, guys. If one of you viewers are a video game developer, if you're gonna aspire to be one, you're gonna be one. Make a game set in Greece. I don't care what game it is. It could be anything. I'll fucking play it, and I'll fucking, like, you know, be like, oh hell yeah, thank you, Billy Bo 99 on YouTube for making it. Do all kinds of stuff. I want that game in Greece.
That takes place in a totally different area. We get to learn culturally about other peoples and stuff like that.
Other peoples,
right? Or maybe a game that has a multicultural cast. With India, you know, the middle.
Oh, I gotta hear that again.
Right? Or maybe it takes place in a totally different area. We get to learn culturally about other peoples and stuff like that.
Other peoples, so we can learn. We have a game set other places, so we can learn about other peoples. But like, that's what school is for. That's why you go to school, Phil, so you can learn. And that's why we have the internet. Why do video games have to teach us about other peoples? And I know some people are going to say, like, oh, it's the SJW stuff right here. Let's see.
Yeah. Right? Or maybe a game that has a multicultural cast. With India, you know, the Middle East.
A multicultural cast. Now, some people say, like, oh, that's SJW talk. SJWs. Oh, man, SJWs. There is nothing inherently wrong with a multicultural cast. I'm going to say that right here and now. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. You can have a multicultural class. No gamer gives a fuck. The gamers will be like, okay, cool, whatever. Where it starts to matter is when you have characters that are token. Like, if you're just going to have a character that's like, hello, I am from the Middle East. Man, look at me, I'm a Middle Eastern person. Wow, I'm in a game, and I'm the protagonist, man. Let me tell you about all these controversial topics and show you, like, that kind of shit, like, where it just kind of panders. It's like having a transsexual character come up to you and says, hello, fellow human, I am a transsexual. What's up? How's it go? Like, no one fucking talks like that. So, like, yeah, you could have a multicultural cast. It's just write them like normal people. I know, crazy, right? That's really all that they have to do, but developers should not be forced to do it either. It should be, if the developers want to have a multicultural cast, they should make one. But they shouldn't sit there and be like, guys, we need to have a multicultural cast. We need to do it because it's 2017. It's current year. Let's do it. We have to. Like, that's shit. That's shitty. Because then you're not gonna get a good product.
You know, maybe one or two European countries, Africa, and all these characters maybe interact somehow in some way. I don't know. I'm just saying, it does seem to me like a lot of games take place in the same general areas all the time, and it lends to a lot of, say, repetition, rather than having the diversity. You know what I mean? And I don't mean, oh, what are you talking about? Overwatch takes place worldwide. Sure, but it's a first-person shooter. I'm talking about like a narrative-based game, a game that has a story and character development in a worldwide setting. I think that could be pretty interesting. And that really hasn't been done. You know what I mean?
Really does it. Like,
think about it that way.
Never been done. Well, technically, Gears of War technically is a multicultural cast. I mean, they're not all buff white dudes walking around. I mean, there's a girl, there's a black guy, a dude with blonde hair, dude with brown hair. They did have a Spanish guy or a Hispanic guy for a while. You know, they had other shit going on.
All right. So I'm going to go on to the next question, but I've noticed I've gotten some significantly huge tips on the stream today. So hold on a moment so I can give these shout outs. Here we go. So first of all, thank you to Stinkin' Burrows who did a 40-bit cheer and said troll tip because he's responding to the troll tip that I got, or the troll cheer that I got earlier. Special thanks to Hank Duma, who did a $100 tip on the stream today and said, followed your channel ever since the early days of Fallout 3 in 2008. Wishing you all the best for the future. Here's a little contribution for all the entertainment.
Wow,
Hank,
they're rare.
Awesome. Thank you, Hank, for the $100 tip. Much, much appreciated. And that will definitely help out, right now. So thank you. And now,
much appreciated,
a
but I got
$200 tip from Vidar. And he says, KO Gaming is actually good. I've watched close to every video on there. Not everything has to make monetary sense. Some things that you do to build...
I'm Brightside Viking. I like the KO Gaming, Phil. The KO Gaming is the best, Phil. When you use that robot voice, I just lose my mind. Because I'm Brightside Viking. I shall give you the monies, as always. Phil Burnell.
Character, and you can't put a price on. KO Gaming has been and continues. Some KO Gaming is actually good. I've watched $100 tip for right now. So thank you. And now a $200 tip from Vidar.
Look at that. $100. I think it was $100 from the other guy. Was it 100? Whatever. He's like, oh, thank you. That will help me with the bill. BSV strolls in with his big fucking wallet for his favorite boyfriend, and it's like, oh, here's $200, Finn. Let me just make it rain in Washington. And he's just like, all fucking, he has a fucking boner problem. He's probably like, oh yeah, fucking BSV, all jumping up and down for Brightside Viking, his favorite fucking slave.
And he says, KO Gaming is actually good. I've watched close to every video on...
KO Gaming is good. I think the idea for that channel is good. I think that's the only good thing I could say about that channel. But everything about that channel is fucking shit.
Not everything has to make monetary sense.
Not everything has to make monetary sense. Brightside Viking. I know you're watching this video. You're talking to Dark Side Phil. He has to make as much fucking money on something for him to do it. Okay, Brightside Viking, if you give him $500, $1,000 to do KO Gaming forever, and you do it every minute of every day, maybe he'll do, actually. No, I don't know. I don't want to give you too much hope because, DSP, he'll give him money for Project 7 and he didn't really do it. So actually, Brightside, if I can keep your money for that, you don't need to give him money. He won't do KO Gaming regardless. But it has to make monetary sense. It has to.
Some things that you do to build character, and you can't put a price on.
Some things you have to do to build character. What are you fucking talking about? KO Gaming is put on, indefinite hiatus until, fucking the hardcore gaming generic season comes out, and then you can finally do generic videos again. What character are you talking about? He's not building character. He does the same fucking shit every fucking day. He's not a different person. The only time he ever changed was when he went to Washington. He became a bland fucking person now. He became so dry, boring, and just a baby. He cries about everything now. He's more of a baby than Cleo is, and Cleo's 7 years old. Well, actually, Cleo is an old rabbit, actually, but he's more of a baby than a baby. There you go. He's more of a baby than a 1-year-old.
KO Gaming has been and continues to be positive for you. KO
Gaming. Okay, I gotta hear that again.
You can't put a price on. KO Gaming has been and continues to be positive for you. I agree.
Continues to be positive. Vidar, Brightside Viking, how is that channel growing when he doesn't upload any fucking videos on it? That's like saying my main channel is growing to be a huge channel while I upload videos very sporadically. That makes no fucking sense. See how dumb that sounds? Yeah, that's how dumb you sound, Brightside Viking.
I certainly agree. And I think that being able to do edited style videos makes me more diversified and gives me more of a chops. Let me give you an example. If I decide to not be a full-time YouTuber moving forward, I could show the stuff that I've done on KO Gaming to a potential future employer and say, look, this is the kind of video that I did by myself with no training and no...
Okay, self-plug time. We're going to my channel. To my channel, dude. So let's open this another window. I just don't know so let's go to my channel. So let's say you're an employer, okay? Oh, there's my lovely face, and you're like, I'm like, oh, look at my videos, dude. Hold on, I gotta go to an edited video because yeah, I had to do it. There, see, okay, we go to this video, we're like, alright, like I did this video on my own. Welcome to Theo Explains. I'm gonna explain Voltron, the new Netflix. Oh my god, the screen is blinking. But see, I made this video on my own. I made it. 0 likes, 0 dislikes, 28 views. I mean, the gravy train, baby. No comments. I mean, this is great, but I actually like this video. Actually, you know, I learned a lot making this video, actually. But see, I could show this to a potential employer and they'll love it. See, this is already more work than... So let's get started. So one day in DreamWorks, they're like, "Yay, man, we suck at everything. Pixar is just destroying us every year in the movies. Let's just focus on Netflix because everyone loves Netflix series. And you know what else other people love? My Little Pony, and that's a show from the 80s. So let's bring something back from the 80s and make it into like a Netflix series. So we got the yeah. See what I mean? See what I mean? Like already in the 27 seconds, you're probably like, you know, it's very basic editing that I was doing. It's a lot of like still motion because it's fucking art. Okay, I did it on fucking Mischief. This is Photoshop, but you know, I work on that. But together, it took me like months to get that all together because I kind of lost motivation in the middle. But I learned a lot from that video, so I'm more excited to work on the next one now. I have a few ideas that I'm trying to work on. But see how much work that is. See how much like. You know, that, and you know, you might even be more interested in watching that video, maybe. As I plug my video, shamelessly. But, like, that's more work. I would argue that was more work to put that video together than it took for him to make KO Gaming. I'll tell you that right now.
Education, I put this style of video together.
There is a bias.
You could use me for your website, or maybe I could be a journalist for you or something like that. That's more professional stuff than the stuff that I do on my other channels. I absolutely admit that.
No. They would say, they would watch his Dead Rising 4 review and be like, huh, in this review you sound like you really enjoyed it, but you gave it a 6 out of 10. Alright, Phil, tell us about your reviewing process. Well, I'm so glad you asked me, IGN, or GameSpot. I, you know, take every game ever made and I compare it to one another. So if, like, Halo 3 comes out, it's like I give it a 9 out of 10. I gotta put that into account when I think of Halo 4, when I review Halo 4. But... Okay, fuck this, you're fired.
But at the same time, I'm in a situation right now where I have to pay my bills. Like, you see
what
I'm saying?
He has to pay his bills, Brightside Viking. You better fucking pay him. He needs to pay his fucking bills, Viking. And that money, that $200 money you gave him, is not enough.
It's not like it used to be, where... There was I had the opportunity to take those hours of a day and say I could make an edited video even if I don't really have anything.
But you know, what if he had that idea of KO Gaming years ago and he did it then? But he never did it because he's a fucking idiot.
Special to do it about, I could still do it. I don't have that flexibility anymore. I'm by myself. I have one income paying all the bills here now.
Like he started doing edited videos way too late. Way too late. Because there's already other people that edit videos better than him, and you know, he just got lost in the shuffle. Like when you see a channel that does a review better and that's more entertaining, and you go to KO Gaming, you're just gonna leave KO Gaming and not want to go back. and you're not gonna miss it. You're not gonna sit there and ever think what's going on with KO Gaming. It's like, it's like the people who kind of hop on the Patreon train, like right now. Like the Patreon was like a thing. It was a huge thing when it started like a few years ago. Now it's kind of whatever. And at this point, it's maybe a little bit more obligated when you want to go to an online type of career, but it's not the same. It's like you're not gonna get the same attention as people did when they started using Patreon. You're not gonna get the same influx. Like, let's go to Patreon. We're gonna go to a funny Patreon. Let's go to Digibro. We'll go to him. See, he has 4,021, but see, he started doing Patreon when it like around the time that Patreon started, so that's why he he has that much. Let's go to Pop Culture Detective Agency. I think it's the the. Oh my God, Johnny Macintosh. There it is. There he is. There's our bitch boy. $730, and he got into like Patreon like way late. And look how much he had. Look how much he makes. Nothing. He makes less than DSP. So DSP is actually making more money than this fucking guy. I'm kind of happy about that, actually. I'm really happy that DSP makes more money than him. DSP deserves more money than this guy. To be completely honest.
Now, I'm trying to keep this house, which is going to be very tough for me moving forward. My credit is terrible because of all the debt in my name. I am in a bad situation, all right? So right now, I have to focus on what works and what's making me enough to pay the bills, which right now is the daily gameplay streams, focusing on gameplay and playthroughs on YouTube. Like I said, come the fall, when new game releases are coming out and people want more reviews, I'll definitely do them. But I can't. Like, for example, this summer, so why don't you just do a downtime series on KO Gaming of a countdown? I can't, man. I gotta do gameplay, because that's right now is what's working. Alright?
I gotta do gameplay.
And thank you again very much to Hank Duma and to Vidar for the tips. Awesome. I mean, that's a really cool way to start the stream today. Awesome stuff.
Oh, man, the money!
Okay. So let's continue on here.
We're only halfway, guys. So the next question. Oh, look, you gave the shoutouts for some huge tips at old timestamp. Oh, that's cool. What is the most rewarding thing about doing this as a job? This isn't my job, but let's say that doing videos in general, we'll say in general, doing videos as the most rewarding thing is honestly, to me, uploading it and just getting it done. I don't care about the views. Honestly, when I did that Voltron video I showed you, I was so fucking happy that was done. You won't believe how happy I fucking was. Like, I was just ecstatic about it. I was like, oh my God, I finished it. The video played fine. I truly do like that video. I like that video. There's a lot of stuff I would change in that video. I don't think it's my greatest work, but it was rewarding because I was done and I was happy with it. I was satisfied with that video. Because I learned a lot. I learned a lot from it. I learned a lot on how to use iMovie to do more of somewhat of an animated type stuff. It kind of fueled some ideas in my mind. I really enjoyed that video. I really loved it. I really, really fucking love that video. I really don't give a fuck that it could have 0 views, and I would still have that same like passion of that video because it's just something that I really like doing, and I thought it was really cool to make that video. The next one, to kind of give a hint as to what I'm thinking of it being, is either Powerpuff Girls, the new Powerpuff Girls, or You know, it might be that. Might be that. I had one a long time. I was thinking of doing a DSP one, but I don't know. I might do one just for fun for this channel, but I don't think I don't know. I don't know if I want to do one. We'll see. We'll see how I feel, but that's how I feel about it. That video. That's the most rewarding part of making videos is just finishing it and hitting upload. Everything after that is just the icing of the cake. I really love making that video. That video. These kind of videos, the thing that I like doing is mostly kind of making them. Because I like kind of talking. You know, I like talking. So there you go. And I do kind of like some of the comments I get. Some of the comments are they're quite a range. They go from like, you know, in jokes, kind of like, you know, stuff that you know is really I really appreciate, stuff comments I really like reading, to comments that are like, okay, you know, what this that, or some that are really critical and fun to converse with, to the ones that are like, you are a fucking asshole, Theo, you're a fucking dummy, fuck you, you're a piece of shit, how dare you make a video about our Lord and Savior Darkside Phil.
We got many more patron questions to go to here.
That was...
All right, next question.
So
this next person, his name is Big Tone 995. I've seen him around the streams recently. He cheers and does stuff like that, so he's an awesome person. And he had a bunch of questions.
Let's hear that again. I gotta hear that again. I was...
For his patron pledge, so let's get through all of his questions, all right?
Oh my god, I gotta hear that again.
Questions. For his... does stuff like that. So this next person, his name is Big Tone 995. I've seen him around the streams recently. He cheers and does stuff like that, so he's an awesome person.
Okay, imagine if you're a Patreon person. You want to donate, you want to support them through Patreon only. You don't want to do the Twitch, the bits, the tips. You don't want to do that. You want to do Patreon because you like the rewards you get there more, or whatever reason you want to go to Patreon. And you know, he's like, okay, I'm reading Jim John 99. He's a Patreon person, so he asks, why is the sky blue? Well, very simple. Okay. Then he goes on to Big Toe. Oh, Big Toe! Dude, this guy is a real cool guy. He's an awesome person because he goes to Twitch. He's awesome. See how shitty that sounds? Like, imagine being a Patreon person. Like, you only can afford supporting him one way, either Twitch or Patreon, and you choose Patreon. And then he's like, oh, okay, I'm Patreon. Then it's like, Big Toe, he's a Patreon, but he also goes to Twitch, and he gives you tips and bits. He's an awesome person. Yeah, okay. I mean, but then again, this is the same guy that jerks off to Vidar giving him money. I mean, he fucking, like, dude, imagine if Vidar ever goes to his house, DSP's gonna go on his knees for him. Like, I mean, he's like, oh, but actually, no, honestly, BSP will probably be the one on his knees, you know? Or it might be a fight. It might be a fight of, like, who's gonna suck each other off, because they're both fucking...
And he had a bunch of questions for his patron pledge. So let's get through all of his questions. All right.
What's his question? Some of his questions.
First off, what do you think is the most rewarding thing about your job that you didn't expect when you first started to do YouTube for your full-time job? I would say there's hold on a second. Whoops. My phone's vibrating. I'm trying to stop it. It's annoying me. There. Hopefully that turned it off. Number one thing I really like is being able to make my own schedule and being able to adjust things on the fly. Yeah, because honestly, over the years, how many crazy things have happened? Things I didn't expect. Things that come out of left field. And I'm able to make my own schedule. Yeah, it sucks when I'm late to a stream or whatever, but I like the fact that I can adjust on the fly. Right now, I'm battling allergies, and I'm battling not having a steady sleep schedule because of some stuff. You like
being able to come in late to your job to stream. But the fucking viewers that give you these fucking money might not appreciate that. That's why when you go to his chat, sometimes you might see people complain about him not playing the game on time. Because he fucking doesn't care. He doesn't care. But unless you're like a fucking dummy or a slave, like Brightside Viking, where you barely fucking think about that shit, you're okay with it. Because, you know, you have to really be brain dead in order to be like, oh man, I love DSP. Even though he treats me like shit, he's a great guy.
Stuff that's happened in my personal life. I'm able to make later streams and stream longer, right?
No,
and not have to worry about, oh no, I had a 9 to 5 job and now I can't, you know, I'm late to work every day. It's not like that. It's different.
You're like to work
I'm able
every
to be
day.
flexible. I'm able to, today I can do Ask the King, tomorrow I'm back to gameplay. I can variate my schedule. It's all about me being the boss, and that's cool. So that's one of the major things I absolutely like about doing this full time. Number two,
okay,
I would say
I gotta get a beard, guys. I'm sorry, I gotta get a beard. I know that's gonna be more work for me because I gotta like fucking edit videos, edit parts, put stuff together. But I just gotta. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. I got my beer. It's the same beer as before. Nothing new. It's the Dora Dam beer. It's pretty good, as I said. But let's get back into this. But again, he loves being late.
A lot of interaction with people. So, for example, I get to live as I do stuff. I get to see how people react, what people like, what people don't like. I get to joke around with people. I get to see that direct line of contact where people say, "Thank you, Phil." I get messages.
No. The only time he interacts with people is when it's all about him. When it's like, "Oh, Phil, you're real good at this game, Phil." "Oh yeah, do that. I'm really good, okay." Or when they just repeat the same joke, or they contribute to his shitty ass joke, that kind of shit. Like, it's just trying to think of okay, I'll use this guy. I'll use Tevin as an example because I actually like his streams. I've been not attending his streams as much, which kind of suck. I kind of want to change that, but every time I go to his streams, he constantly addresses the chat a lot, and it's actually it's a very good environment. I like being there. I say whatever, and he actually does address me. He's like, "Oh man, like Giant Me crap, oh man, let me tell you, like listen, like it's good communication because it's like you want to address people when you chat. Like when I'm playing a game, when I'm streaming, sometimes I do try to talk to the chat as well. It is a little hard sometimes when you're either like when you're in a conversation with someone in a chat room and you're playing a game and then you lose track of the conversation and then someone's like going on about something, you're like, "Oh, what do you mean?" That kind of stuff. Or when there's a delay. That's the biggest thing for me, at least. My streams tend to have a lot of delay in them. Where like something happens and it happens later for them to catch up. So I don't really know how to fix that. I'm not a fucking streamer. I don't fucking know that shit. I do need to do research. I'm very DSP-esque in that regard, but that's the only hard part is when there's a delay and you have to kind of like either react knowing there's a delay. Like it's either okay, react knowing there's a delay, or just react regardless and just whatever. It's tough, but it's I tried my best. That's kind of why I like doing art streams a little bit more, which I haven't done as well in a long time, which I should do. I should change because for those I either just do like I talk about what I'm drawing, or I just play music in the background and I just stream with that, and then I just talk in chat. So there you go.
All the time, "Phil, I love your videos. You really help me out in a bad time, or you make me laugh every day," and stuff like that. That stuff is awesome. And when I just started making videos for YouTube frivolously, 10 years ago, I never fucking thought that I would ever do anything that would be something significant and a positive thing for anyone. It was just me dicking around, some guy, Joe Snow, not good at video games or whatever, just dicking around, sometimes getting drunk and making these silly videos. And here we are, nearly 10 years later, and I'm still doing it, and people are loving the live streams. I've become a part of ongoing people's lives and schedules. That's pretty crazy to think about it, right? Holy shit, that's a significant contribution to the positive part of a lot of people's lives. I never thought that something like that would happen, ever. Okay. Number two, when you were younger, what did you think you would be doing right now with your life? Did you ever think gaming would be this big a part of your life?
Okay, you didn't have that.
I've always been the kind of...
add that to the description. So when I was young, what did I think I'd be doing? I thought I would... Man, I thought I'd be a cartoonist, actually. I loved cartoons. I loved, I would love to do, like, the work in cartoons. That was, like, my dream job. That was, like, the dream. It just kind of sucks right now because, if I wanted to do cartoons, if I want to do that, I feel like I probably would have to move to California to do that, or, like, in a major city. Connecticut not really. I mean, some people it's like, well, you can kind of, find other ways to do that or whatever. But I just feel like it's harder to do it when you're not around that kind of environment where you're like not even close to like California or whatever. I feel like that, the farther you are, the harder it is to be that. I feel like I would have to move to accomplish that. Excuse me. So I don't know. That's why I've been kind of trying to find a job first, and then maybe try to see how it is in California someday during vacation or whatever. But it's hard. It's hard, man. So, when you're a kid, it's like you have these dreams, and sometimes you just can't make your dream. Sometimes you can't make your dream come true, and you gotta settle for something because you gotta pay the bills.
A person that I don't look super far forward, and the reason is because my life has been one of the most tumultuous stories, just in the course of my life.
Are you fucking kidding me? So when you're 5 years old, shit happened. When you were 5 years old, you got laid up from your helicopter job. No. When you're a kid, you fucking think about the future, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
Went from thinking that I was gonna do computer science as a major to finance and business.
Computer science, dude. Computer science. Yeah, okay. The question was when you were a fucking kid.
Selling electronics, to doing an office job at a helicopter company, to doing continuous improvement work, which is very different from just doing a customer service job, to then doing YouTube and now live streaming. You know what I mean? Like, my life has evolved and changed so much over the years.
But that wasn't the question.
Dramatically, that I never was the person that 10 years from now, this is what I'll be doing. I never would have been right. I would have been so fucking wrong. You know what I mean?
That wasn't the question, you fucking dunce. I'm yelling right now. The question was, what did you see yourself doing when you were a kid? Not, oh, how do you see yourself when you were a kid? I don't know what. Take a sip.
Because here's the thing, right? Who would have known that YouTube would have even existed? Who would have known that Twitch would have existed? Who would have known that any of this shit would have existed? Would I have thought, 10, 15 years ago, that daily I'd be posting my pictures of stuff on Instagram and people would be interested, that I would tweet something up on Twitter and 20,000 people would read it and care? Of course not. I didn't fucking think that. But that's my reality now. Things so different, right? Life is crazy the way that it works. So no. I mean, I never thought anything like this would happen. Did I ever think that gaming would be a big part of my life? Yeah, I always thought that video games would be a big part of my life because I grew up with them. Whether it was playing Street Fighter in an arcade, whether it was sitting at home playing all the hottest releases and stuff on Super NES and then later on the other console. Like, gaming was always an integral part of my life, but did I ever think that it would be so much of my life that it's like my daily thing of what I do for a living? No, of course not. Never.
Dude, okay.
I never really...
This is kind of sad on his part. I bet he was the kind of guy that played video games. He plays video games. He's like one of those people who play video games. But he probably had like a lot of friends. He probably hanging out doing a lot of other stuff, tons of other shit. He just plays video games like as a hobby, downtime, whatever. But he probably wasn't like into video games as in like like a lot of people who like people like me, for example. Like I love video games. I do watch some of the press conferences when I can. I, look at the franchise I really like, that kind of stuff. I know some, like, obscure, odd knowledge about video games in some regard to some franchises or whatever. That's not fucking Phil. Phil is probably the kind of guy that would pick up the Call of Duty here and there, or pick up whatever game that, was, like, mainstream. Like, he's not a gamer, like, he's just a guy, like, that just plays video games, then he wanted to make money, like, I don't know how to describe that, I don't know, but I don't think he's, like, a genuine gamer.
Really aspired to be a game developer, and back then there was no other way to make a living with gaming, so I had no idea that it would ever be anything like this. He says, there are a few games that I saw that are indie titles, would you ever, consider exploring some of these games?
Was that a question in the, Oh, he didn't have this either. What? What did I think I would be doing when I was younger? With the ideal circumstances, what would I be doing in the next 5 years? Will we be... Okay, you didn't add this in the description, which is weird, but, I'll hear that again.
He says, there are a few games that I saw that are indie titles. Would you ever consider exploring some of these games? All right, let's go through his list here and see if I'm interested in any of these games, if I even know what half these games are.
Okay.
The Turing Test. I don't know what that is. I heard it could be an interesting game. In regards to, I guess it's supposed to be some kind of like a psychological thriller game or something. I don't know. Firewatch, I played. I don't know if you're aware, Big Tone. I played that last year, so you can check that playthrough out over on DSP Gaming right now. And by the way, this is a perfect opportunity to bring up, some people don't realize I have a website that indexes all of my playthroughs. If you go to thekingofhate.com right now, at the top of the page, there's tabs. If you click on playlists, a search option opens up. You could search right there, and any playthrough that I've ever done on the internet will come up. So you could search Firewatch, it'll bring up the Firewatch playlist, and you can watch it from there. This engine was custom created by my website designer, Onyx.
Okay.
It is incredibly better than anything on YouTube. You will find all my stuff right away. You could sift through all the bullshit. You never have to use YouTube search again if you're looking for my stuff. So thekingofhate.com, click on the playlist tab, search. It's a godsend. It really is. Okay.
I found that playthrough so quickly. Does DSP not know that your channel has a search feature? And it shows your, like, wow. Wow, guys. For a guy who uses YouTube a lot, he sure doesn't know how YouTube works.
In the Sleep. Now, I had never heard of In the Sleep.
Like,
I've heard of...
I wouldn't be surprised. Let's go to his website. I want to see something, because I feel kingofhate.com. I think that it's an embedded search. No, it's not. Let's see. Oh, it's okay. Never mind. It's not really a custom-made search. It's just kind of a search. I mean, it's just a typical search engine.
Among the Sleep, and that was that game that I played a couple years back. I don't know what In the Sleep is. Kona and Kola. Nah, see, I don't know I never heard of those games. Hey, we have indie events that are happening right now. People are voting on what indie games I'll be playing in an upcoming marathon in late July. If people nominate these games, I would play them, but a lot of these games didn't get nominated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the only way that those games will be played.
Okay.
Whatever.
Next question. Let's see here. Oh, his last question. With ideal circumstances, what do you see yourself doing in the next 5 years? If you could...
Ideal circumstances in the next 5 years. I would probably... If I do what I'm doing right now. Play video games, buy what I want. Man. Dope.
Would you expand on what you have now, or would you go in a completely different direction from YouTube? Great question. Right now, let's say if everything went perfectly according to plan. Here's what I would love. I don't know if it's ever going to happen.
Make,
all right.
like, actual gameplay videos, not like.
First of all, I would hope that me continuously doing gameplay streams on Twitch and videos on YouTube the way I'm doing right now would grow. And right now it is. And I just want to tell everyone, positive growth right now on Twitch. I recently hit over 35,000 followers. I recently hit over 5 million stream views. So things are going good on Twitch. I'm noticing that my subscriber count is slowly climbing. Okay. And the amount of bits and cheers and tips and everything that I'm getting here on Twitch is growing. So ever since I started doing this back in March, it's actually consistent growth on Twitch, which is good. That tells me that the real viewing audience for this kind of stuff is now on Twitch. And I know, don't take this the wrong way if you're a YouTube viewer of mine. I'm not giving up on YouTube or anything like that, but it seems to me the future is Twitch. I mean...
But he said that he would like to see... He would like to get Twitch to a point where he never would have to worry about YouTube ever again. But, like, basically, technically, his YouTube channel is a stream archive channel. That's basically what it is now. Like... Yeah, of course he's never gonna give up on YouTube. I've said this before. He'll never leave YouTube. He's never gonna leave YouTube. He's never gonna stop caring. Even if he makes most of his money on Twitch, if something happens to his YouTube channel, dude, he would do a rant video about that. He would go into red alert mode.
Everything is pointing towards this, all right? So this is all good, positive news. If I could keep this going, and let's say by the end of this year, especially with all the new releases coming out in the fall that people are going to absolutely want to see me live stream and play on YouTube. If I can keep this positivity going and growth going.
Didn't he say in a pre-stream that this is the most negative year so far? Now it's positivity, guys. Okay, I mean, I'm wondering what's going to happen in the fall because, as I said in a few videos ago, a long time ago, that every fall he goes into red alert mode because he knows taxes are just around the corner.
What I would hope is that I can stay where I am right now, all right? And let's say give it 1 to 2 years. Right now, there's a ton of equity building up in my house. My house is worth a lot of money and growing. Right now, where I live in Seattle, is a hotbed for real estate. People want to move here, and values are going up, up, up.
Yeah, and it could also go down, down, down. The housing market has crashed before, and it might crash again. The way that things are going, it could go either way. It could either be real beneficial or not very beneficial. You could get fucked, Philly, hardcore by the government, by the economy. Just saying. And I was gonna say this as well. I said this when I was watching the stream, but this is just like his fucking. He did a forum post. I covered this in a forum post already. Are you fucking kidding me? Come on.
I can keep this house for a few more years. What I'm looking to do is build a ton of equity in the house and do one of two things. Either find a way to finance in all of my freaking debt that's killing me and put it into the mortgage, okay, which would free me up completely. It would raise my credit score, and I would be good financially. Now I would have more flexibility.
Refinance his debt to pay off the mortgage, but wouldn't... If he's refinancing the debt that he has, that he owes money to, wouldn't he still owe that money? He's just refinancing. It's just... Whatever.
Do I want to go on trips and cover things like go to E3 or go to conventions again and stuff I used to do when I had that financial flexibility? Yeah. I could do it. But I can't do it right now because I'm in so much of a bad situation financially, all right? Do I want to expand? Do I want to try to do more stuff on YouTube? Do I want to try different series or something like that? Then I could do it. Right now, I'm literally in a situation I can't. I can't afford to try stuff. I have to stick with what's working to keep stuff going, all right? So that's number one. Now, when you say long term, what else would I like to do? Do I ever want to give up completely on YouTube? No. Do I ever want to give up completely on live streaming? No. I love doing it. I wouldn't still be doing this if I didn't love doing it. Yeah, I want to keep doing this no matter what. But the bottom line is I need to find a way to make it financially feasible for my long term. My long term game, can I continuously stream and do videos like this? I don't think so. I think what I need to do is find a way to balance what I'm doing here with something else. Whether that means going out there and finding another full-time job to balance with it, okay. I don't know if that's feasible, especially with all the shit on the internet about me. That's just plain slander and shit. Who the hell's gonna hire me? So maybe...
see, here it is. See, that guy who commented on my video, he said, oh, well, I'm not a fan of DSP. Look, if you're commenting, this is a little PSA for these kind of comments. If you're gonna say, look, I don't like DSP, and then kind of criticize me, you don't have to say that. You don't have to say, I'm not a fan of DSP, because it doesn't fucking matter. Your opinion is your opinion. I'm not gonna, weigh your opinion less if you're a DSP fan or whatever. The way that I value opinions is if I can actually see where you're coming from. So, let's say that, whatever. But this guy who commented, I didn't believe that he was not a DSP fan. He has to be a DSP fan because he reiterated everything DSP said. If you're not... it's like, I'm not a DSP fan, but I do watch DSP videos. I just kind of enjoy his videos ironically, and, it's just kind of fascinating to see how dumb he is. There you go. But I don't go to his channel, like, look, I am not a detractor, but let me tell you, Phil, you're a cool guy, but I'm not a detractor, but you're also an asshole. Like, imagine if that's how you talk to people. Like, hey guys, I don't like Mario, but I like Mario Odyssey. Like, oh, I'm not a DSP fan or anything, but Theo, you know, your videos suck. Okay, I mean, why does that matter? Why do I have to know if you like DSP or not? I don't care. I don't give a fuck. If you don't like my videos, you don't like my videos. What can I do about it?
It's a matter of starting a business of some sort and balancing my own business with YouTube and streaming, right? Something like that. I don't know what it is because at this point I'm so far away from that point that I can't even answer that question, right? If
Like,
things go perfectly
It's
according
all because of him. The reason why he can't get hired is because of his own shit that he watched. Dude, if I was streaming and I started jerking off during streaming, yeah, I could imagine. I could probably put money down saying that people are gonna probably upload that video on their own channel. Like, be it a small number of people because I'm not a fucking celebrity, but, you know, people are probably gonna be like, well, look, you did this.
to plan, all right? And I can either find a way to make money with this stupid condo I have in Connecticut or get rid of it so it's not a financial burden on me anymore. And if I can find a way to keep this house for a couple more years till I build enough equity to get rid of all my outstanding debt, and now
He was thinking about having people come into his condo for him.
Better financial situation, I can start traveling and basically we can go back to how things were before I changed up everything and I moved to Washington and all of that. It could be like I have more flexibility, I have more control over my life, which I want to get back. You know, now I'm single again and I want to get that control back where I have that.
Oh my god, what? Gotta hear that again.
And I moved to Washington and all of that. It could be like I have more flexibility, I have more control over my life, which I want to get back. You know, now I'm single again and I want to get that control back where
oh my god, man. That is, I guess, like, man, that's probably my negative mind at work, but that's kind of like a snide little remark about Leanna at that point. It's like, oh man, I'm single, I got that part of my life back, I got control over that. Like, oh my god, whatever. I thought you was Leanna, dude.
Where I have that flexibility. I would love, honestly, to go to E3 in a year or two and cover it legitimately and actually, instead of doing it how I did in 2012 when I went with Machinima and Machinima flubbed the whole fucking thing and didn't explain to me how to cover it and didn't get
this guy needed to be explained how to cover E3? Oh my god. Oh.
me behind the scenes coverage with these game developers. I would like to have that foot in the door where I could talk to game developers, do exclusive footage, do hands-on with games, and show you that kind of behind the scenes stuff. I think that would be tremendous.
Oh my god. He's so dumb. He's so dumb. I don't want to say,
but I can't do it right now because I don't have any money. That's the bottom line. I need to get to that level, okay?
You need to be explaining how to do E3.
I definitely need to get to that level first,
I'm done.
I'm not at that level anywhere near it right now.
I'm done with that. Go on to the next question. That is enough.
So, ideally, yeah, I'd like to do more on YouTube. I'd like to go back to how it used to be where I could travel and do all that stuff. But long term, I'd like to maybe balance it with something else, but I don't ever want to give up. I still want to do this. Even if I don't do every game release, I'd like to at least cover some of the major games every year, right? Still do streams, still do playthroughs of the major. 2 more to go through. So the next question is from El Trumpo. He says, do you think weed will benefit society with taxes plus recreational benefits as well? If it becomes a booming market, would you consider working for a weed company?
Let's see the question so I can... Will weed benefit society with taxes and recreational benefits? Would I work for a weed company? It would benefit in a way. Because, look at Colorado, I think. I think it's Colorado. I'm pretty sure it's Colorado. They legalized it for recreation, and they were able, and the tax from that they had on it really helped that state out. It really gave them a lot of money. There's a lot of, there's also a lot of nuanced issues that recreational weed may have. But that might be ironed out in the future as well, but who knows? Uh, but it would benefit the state financially in that way because they're making money off of that tax of getting of people buying weed. Uh, Socially, yeah, I'll tell you this right now. I would much rather be around stoners than drunks. I'll tell you that right now. Tell you that right this second. I mean, I can tell you some stories that I've seen as an EMT drunk people, and I can tell you that I would much rather deal with stoners. And alcohol also is more violent, is more dangerous. Uh, this is the most alcohol I've drank in a while, in a long time. I don't really drink at all. Like I only have like 2 beers right now. This is my second, and that's more than enough for me. I'm not gonna bring out like a 16 pack or whatever. And be like, oh yeah, let's chug it all. But alcohol is dangerous and it can also kill people because people, it changes your how you think of things, and it's just bad. I never really like getting too drunk to the point where I get a hangover because then what's the point? I just don't like waking up the next day with a hangover. That just fucking sucks. Um, I don't know what he means by recreational benefits. I mean, like, but what? I mean, unless you're talking about state tax, whatever. But it also helps people. But weed also helps calm people down. Like it's a nice, relaxing thing. And I went to Amsterdam once, and I went to a museum there, and they did a study of people who were driving drunk and people who were driving stoned, and the stoners drove better than those that were drunk. Would I work for a weed company? Maybe. I don't see why not. I mean, weed smells pretty good too. I mean,
Listen, marijuana is much like alcohol and
like,
all other kind of regulated substances in the United States of America. Is it a horrible substance that will ruin your life?
like every other regulated substance. No, it's not. I mean, you should really talk to a pharmacist.
No, unless you're one of these people who become so addicted and ridiculously overcome with it that you cannot stop yourself from smoking every possible moment, which is the same thing that happens with alcohol. People get drunk and they become drunks and they can't stop drinking constantly.
They become drunks. They can't stop drinking constantly. Well, the thing is that weed technically is not an addictive substance. It's not, but I would argue that it's addictive on a mental level where you kind of associate having a good time with weed, so you start to smoke more and this and that. Like, because like I've seen people who constantly smoke weed every day, and they try to get other people to smoke with them, and that's fine. But at the same time, though, there's you can't be stoned every day. You might have to get you're like, oh, I'll have to go to work and this and that, and it's responsibility. It's responsibility that it comes down to. But it's not addictive because people can stop any time. You don't get any withdrawals or addiction to it. You can stop any time. It's more about self-control. It's like food is not addictive, but junk food is not addictive, but you can still eat junk food a lot, and then you're like, oh fuck, I can't stop eating. Uh, Alcohol, on the other hand, is addictive. It's just it takes a longer time for it to get hooked, but people can suffer withdrawals, and when you do drink a lot and you try to stop, you start getting you get the shakes. It really fucks your system over, and it's not worth doing. It's not worth it. As I drink beer,
And it screws up their lives too, right? I think what it is people are just afraid. These conservatives are so afraid of weed. Oh my God, reefer madness, right? It's going to end the world. That they don't really understand what it is. And most of them probably have never tried it anyway, so they really don't know what it is.
Or there's like money involved with whatever.
And I think that it could end up being a recreational thing that'll make a ton of money if regulated properly and if everything's done properly.
What's there to not be properly?
Well, I work for a weed company. No, I mean, first of all, I wouldn't do it myself anyway. I hate smoking. I hate any kind of smoke in my lungs. I mean, I have bad allergies. You can hear right now my throat itself is hoarse. I would never be into that kind of a thing because I know that I couldn't. But
Weed. I don't think weed has pollen though, so your allergies mean nothing.
I wouldn't work for the company, but I certainly am not anti-weed. Let me put it that way. I'm not super drug enforcement anti-weed or anything like that. I certainly think that it could work as a way to raise funds in the United States. Okay. Would you also consider doing more co-op playthroughs when there's a game that gives the opportunity? Sure. The problem is, honestly, if you look the past few years, there really hasn't been a lot of opportunity for co-op that was anything that was interesting. I mean, this year it was what? That fucking...
co-op. Oh, man. Let's go to this. Would I consider ever doing a co-op playthrough? I would. But the only thing is that it kind of sucks because you have to coordinate with other people, and I'm terrible with coordinating with people, and I kind of like doing my own thing, so...
Ghost Recon Wildlands. The year before,
I might do like
it was that game I can't even remember the fucking name of anymore. Tom Clancy's something that I skipped.
The Division.
And those games weren't great. I completely skipped them. I missed nothing.
I missed
Destiny
nothing.
2 is coming up, and I'm on the fence about playing it, although some people have already contacted me and said I would like to do co-op with you in it, and that could be interesting. Some people have already contacted me. Destiny 2 is coming up. And I'm on the fence about playing it, although some people have already contacted me and said I would like to do co-op with you in it, and that could be interesting.
He's gonna do it.
But honestly, like co-op, the era of co-op isn't really that prominent anymore. Now it's all about competitive online, and the co-op aspect in a lot of ways has gone away, unless you're talking about these grindy, like repetitive experiences that just don't seem very fun to me.
Take a sip.
So that's kind of the deal. Is yeah, if there were some great, oh my god, groundbreaking co-op games have been released, great, but most of the co-op games that come out end up being repetitive grinds, rehashes, and not anything too interesting. I would say Destiny 2 is probably the first one I'm considering playing coming up. Okay. Some retro replay suggestions. Resistance Fall of Man. Did I play Resistance 1? No, I played Resistance 2 and 3, right? I never played Resistance 1. Okay. Super Mario Sunshine, that's true, that's one I never played. Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. I actually own... I think I own Lego Star Wars 1. But I don't own The Complete Saga. The bottom line, though, is most people, when I play Lego games, think they're boring. And I'm even talking back in the day, when I used to do Lego co-op with John Rambo, back when those, the co-op was usually super popular. Whenever we played Lego games, people were like, this is boring. So, I don't know. I mean, Lego games are definitely relaxing and interesting and fun. I find them personally fun. But... I don't know if they translate to like a mainstream audience who would want to see that kind of stuff.
Dude, he doesn't talk about the ones with Leanna. And that's the other thing I want to say that I've noticed. Have you noticed that he has completely stopped, not talking about her, but like, when he talks about like, his girlfriend, he says, my girlfriend. Like, before it was like, Leanna, my girlfriend, Leanna. Now it's, like, even after the breakup, it was like, me and Leanna broke up. Me and Leanna, this and that. Then it became, my girlfriend, like, yeah.
And then he says, Ratchet and Clank: A Crack in Time. Yeah, I've never played that one.
Really?
All right, last patron question. This one is from...
Question of this video. Do you think Leanna and DSP really do talk to each other still? Do you still think, you really think that they talk?
Dooley, a very... he's here for a lot of streams. He's also a big bit contributor, so thank you, Dooley, for that.
Wow, he fucking like jerks off to all the bit tip fucking slaves. Oh, but the Patreon people get the shaft. Man, I really, really am disappointed with the people who are on Patreon. Because if I was a Patreon person, and that's how he sounds like he's more like happy with people who are donating to him on Twitch than Patreon. So I'd probably pull my pledge. I would never pledge him ever again. Because it's a small, shitty thing. Sure, you could argue that, but it's still like, you're giving him fucking money. So, yeah. That's so shitty. So what? Is it safe to say that VR is unsuccessful? What tech would I like? I don't know if I want to listen to this. I really don't. Fuck it, I'll listen to it. So, is it safe to say that VR is unsuccessful? I wouldn't say that. I would say that it's not as big as the companies were expecting it. That's what I think. I think like Sony was expecting VR to be like this big thing that, you know, that they would be able to focus. But I don't think that's gonna happen anymore. I don't think. Oh, excuse me. When we get the PlayStation 5, I don't think we're gonna see VR day one for that. I mean, we might see day one for it, but it's not gonna be like bundled with it. It won't be required because the thing is that, you know, some people might have, you know, birth defects or issues with using both eyes. That is an actual thing. Like I know someone that, you know, his left eye doesn't work at all. It's not wired properly to the head, to the brain. So the only way that he would have been able to get it to work was if he trained his brain to kind of register both eyes. Because as of right now, you know, the eye would be registering fuzzy, blurry images. So, you know, people like that would not benefit VR, and that's kind of like, it might be a small little group of people, but Sony wants as much money as they want, so they probably want to keep it optional forever. So I don't think it's gonna be like I think it's successful enough for it to be around, but it's not gonna be successful to the point where like it's a household item. I don't think it's a household item. What tech would I like to see in games moving forward? Nothing. Everything is fine with the controller. Just keep it simple.
Dooley says, Phil, I think it's safe to say that VR has been unsuccessful so far, as you predicted. And what technology would you like to see the gaming companies invest in? Do you think gaming will be completely different in 10 years? Well, let's clarify here. Do I think that VR is 100% non-successful? No. If you actually look at sales numbers, the PSVR did sell at least a significant amount of units, okay? So did Oculus Rift and HTC Vive at their launches, right? But when you actually look at the long-term implementation of this hardware, yeah, it's failed. Because the thing is, if you have a piece of hardware, you want it to be something that becomes an integral part of the gameplay experience. And the bottom line is, it hasn't. If you look at the games coming out for VR, they're really not anything special.
Fuck it, I don't want to listen to this. I'm just gonna skip ahead.
Yeah, I got sick playing it. I have a friend who has a PSVR and played a bunch of VR games recently. One of them was that Farpoint game that everyone wanted me to play. They played it for about 25 minutes and vomited. That's what I mean. Like, VR, okay, it could work, but it seems to me like it's more of a short-term, digestible mini experience kind of a deal versus I want to play a 10-hour game in VR. And there were some games, don't get me wrong, with Skyrim, Fallout, and Doom for VR, right? Sony had a bunch of things they announced for PSVR, but when you actually look at the scope of the amount of things being announced for VR versus everything else, VR is like this, like 5%, maybe 10%, 4%. It's a very small percentile of what game developers are focusing on because I think they've seen the common person doesn't want to spend $600+ for a giant piece of hardware they have to wear on their fucking... Oh, by the way, a lot of people get motion sick when they're comfortable. It makes your head... I said this is going to be mainstream available to everyone, and the PS16, everyone was hyped because the Oculus Rift was going to be mainstream available to everyone, and the PSVR was coming out later in the year, and I said, I don't think this is going to be anything big. Here we are.
Well, everyone, like, that when tech is announced, everyone, like, goes crazy about it. Like, there was, oh my god, there was something I kept hearing about nonstop. I don't remember what it is. Fuck. There was some device. Never mind. I'm not gonna continue. If I can't remember, it's pointless.
A year later, I was right. I mean, I don't know how many times I've said stuff like this about these gimmicks in hardware, and it ends up being 3D TVs. Oh, everyone's 3D TV, 3D TV. That fucking flop. No one even talks about it anymore. No one even cares if there's 3D in a game or in a movie or anything anymore. It's completely superfluous to any kind of experience that you really...
3D died, I think, because movie tickets are too expensive, and movie tickets are already fucking expensive.
Think about. And VR is the same thing. Really, it's not. It's just not a big deal. No one's hyped about VR. No one's going crazy about VR anymore. It was a little flash in the pan where people thought it would be popular. It didn't explode and take off, and now it's just kind of there if you want it, but there's no real... What is the killer app? What is the one thing you absolutely must experience in VR? It's going to change your gaming life forever. crickets, right? Because there is none. There are games that could be played in VR like Resident Evil 7, yeah, sure, but does it innately add anything so good to the experience you must experience it in VR? No.
Yeah, because Resident Evil 7 has really good atmosphere. It has really good atmosphere. So I would probably would love to experience Resident Evil 7 in VR because it adds to the experience of it because it has atmosphere and it's like a good Resident Evil game. I just don't think the after the bug lady house the game kind of nosedives, and then when you get back to when you go on the boat, it's like, okay, the boat's pretty cool. I like the boat, but man, the Saw stuff, I just, if that was out of the game, Resident Evil 7 would have been a better game.
No, there hasn't been a single game yet where that's been the case. Okay, I think so the second half of his question, Dooley's question, is there any kind of technology that I would like to see gaming companies invest in and maybe put into games? You know, I'm going to be honest, and I've said this over the years, and I'll say it again. I don't think it's about the technology. I think what happens is these gaming companies, they lose their creativity and their originality. And when they run out of ideas for creative original games, they now have to find a gimmick to get other people to jump in and spend money. So right now what they're thinking is, well, maybe the gaming market is saturated for who we have. We have to bring in other people. So let's have silly gimmicky motion controls. Let's have a stupid camera that you talk to on top of your TV called the Kinect. Let's have VR headsets you put on your fucking head. And this will attract other people who maybe normally wouldn't have been part of the gaming landscape. And we can get a new customer base to come in. In reality,
well, I think
in all of reality, I really think what would be more successful for these guys is to hire more creative fucking people. Get people to come in who are going to make unique gameplay experiences that we haven't experienced before.
Okay. Let me just crack my non-existent knuckles. Alright. Creativity is a hard skill. It's a hard fucking skill. I've been trying to work on a webcomic for so long, and I get fucking stumped at my own, at like what I'm trying to tell, because it's like, this doesn't look good, this looks like shit, it looks terrible, fucking scrap it. Creativity is not, like, you can't just find people who are just creative, like, oh, hello, Jim, oh, by the way, Billy, I don't know what I'm fucking talking about, but like, you can't just find creative people like this, you know, like.
Okay. Bring in people who will make a game that I say, wow, that is the must-play game of 2017 because it was so different and creative and just a robust experience unlike any other, versus, oh, generic first-person shooter number 472, or grindy co-op game number 4,000,075, or, you know what I mean? Every game now follows this cookie-cutter mold. And it's very, very rarely when you see a game break that mold and be successful. That's what we need, I think. We had an era, a burgeoning era. There was one era in the 1990s when games were becoming 16-bit and 32-bit where people were innovating. And then it happened kind of again, I would say, around the Xbox 360, PS3 era. And since then, we've just seen a lot of copy-paste. We haven't seen a lot of innovation in game design. And that's what we really need to see. Innovation in the design of the actual games themselves. Not in how you control the game with gimmicks and peripherals and shit. Because that doesn't really add enough to warrant people to come in and drop a ton of money on new controllers and new methods to play. I just want good games. I think that's what we're missing right now, okay? All right. So that is it. We actually just finished the patron questions. So that's going to be it for part 1 of Ask the King. I'm going to take a short break. We're going to come back from break, and then I'm going to be doing part 2. We're going to head to the forum questions. And keep in mind, coming up, we've still got Twitter questions and possibly stream Q&A questions if we have a chance for them. I believe I have to do a couple shout-outs. Shout-out to Fallen1570, who did a 200-bit cheer. He says, it's not much, but thank you for all that you do. I've been a fan since LA Noire.
Oh,
you're one of the main YouTubers I watch, and watching your content has helped me through some tough times, just to be honest. Thank you, Fallen. Listen, 200-bit cheer is great. I don't shirk stuff like that. Thank you. That's a lot, and thank you very much for your support, and thanks for being a long-time viewer. I appreciate your positive message. And also shout out to Timic83, who did a 50-bit cheer. And he says, I played a VR fighting game at a tournament and pushed myself past my physical limits because I was so engrossed. It's scary the brain sees it as so real. That's pretty cool. VR fighting game, because it's funny, Because recently I tried out VR in Tekken, and it was complete cop-out. It wasn't really VR at all, which was a joke. I was so angry at that.
So angry.
Yeah, see what I mean? If you could have innovation, a killer app with VR that makes you want to play it because of VR, that would be cool, but I haven't experienced that yet. Maybe I'd like to try that and see what that feels like, okay? Shout out to Dooley, who did a 600-bit cheer. Thank you, Dooley. All right. So good start, obviously, to Ask the King. Thanks, everyone. I'll be back. If you're watching live on stream, I'll be back in a few minutes with part 2. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll just end this part, and you can check out part 2 for yourself. All right? Thanks, everyone.
Yeah,
I'll be back shortly.
Gotta tell us how to do that. All right, that's it for my part 1. See you guys in the next one.